What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of FTB Infinity on the HermitCraft server. So guys, last couple of episodes we've been working with IC2. We got to the point where we made a mass fabricator, and we've been making some UU matter. So let's check out how much UU matter we've made since the last episode. Let's see, if we right click on here, still working, still doing stuff, we made 2,269 millibuckets, so that's pretty good. So 2,200, if we look at our crystal memory here, this says that 1 UU matter equals 120 millibuckets. So how many UU matter have we made right now? That's like about what, 20? 22? I don't know, somewhere in there. Roughly 20. So, you know, it takes about 2 days to make 20, so that's like 10 a day, which is okay. But if we're gonna make like those solar panels and those top end gears and stuff like that from IC2 and all of those mods that use this stuff, we need to make this a lot faster. So last episode we saw with the recycler, we can put items in here, recycle it, get scrap. Scrap is used as an amplifier for the mass fabricator, which will make it go faster. So I think the first thing we need to do is make a bunch of recyclers and start feeding those items to make scrap. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So what I think I want to do is set up one of our little areas over here. Probably this middle one. We'll probably make a whole line of recyclers here, I think. And then we probably have our mass fabricators up here or back here, one of the two. We're gonna move our liquid storage. We're not gonna use this as a liquid storage place after all. I thought we were going to, but like I said, since we can fit so much in these in these bedrockium drums, there really isn't a whole point in doing it. Yeah, I mean, it would be cool to have like huge tanks and stuff, but I don't think this is gonna be the place to do that. Okay, so we need to make a bunch of recyclers. I'm probably gonna make 10 of them. I think that's probably a good number to start with. We can make more later on, but yeah, I'll make 10 recyclers. I'm gonna make the upgrades. I think we saw that these could take 7 overclockers without any additional upgrades, so I'll make a bunch of upgrades for those. Yeah, let's get started on this, guys. So let me make a cut here. I'll make some machines, get things going, and we will be right back. All right, guys, so I made 10 recyclers, and we got them in place back here. Each one of these has 3 transformer upgrades. I believe the recycler by default accepts 32 EU. 1 transformer upgrade, if I remember correctly, bumps it up to 128. 2 transformer upgrades bumps it up to 512, and then 3 would bump it up to 2048. I think that's how that worked in the past. So anyway, we got 3 transformer upgrades in each one of these machines and 7 overclocker upgrades for now. I might expand these out later. But if we go down behind that bank of machines over here, I made an MFSU, and this guy outputs 2048 EU a tick. That's why we have the transformer upgrades. We don't want any of those machines to blow up. I don't know if they blow up. There's a config setting. I haven't looked if that's enabled on this pack. Probably isn't. But anyway, we want to make sure everything's set up properly. So we have the transformer upgrades because we have the high power output here. This can store 40 million EU, and then we also have this glass fibery cable right here, and that stuff, it's supposed to carry like 8,000 EU a tick. Yeah, I don't know if EU is still doing packets or if that's just like the maximum amount of power that that cable can handle at a time, or how this all works anymore, but I'm just going off of what I remember from the past. So transformer upgrades in each one of these machines. Otherwise, we'd have to get like a actual transformer and split off the power, and that's just a whole thing I don't want to deal with. So now the next step is to get power in the MFSU. Okay, so let's start working on this. We are going to want one of our tesseracts again, and we're going to need some of that red net cable. And there's some things I want to test with this before we get really into it. So let's just start off very simple. I'm going to put this tesseract, let's see, where do I want to stick this thing? I guess we'll stick it here for now. So let's get this thing set up. This is on main base power. We're energy mode, receive only. Everything should be fine. So if I attach one of these redneck cables, we should start powering our system up over here. Yes, we are in fact getting power into this. So I'm curious, we see how fast or slow or whatever you want to say this power is going. If we connect multiple sides of this tesseract to multiple parts of this cable, does it go faster? I don't know. Now if I put a cable here, first thing, can I separate it just by right clicking on it? Will that separate? Nope. Can I put a micro block there to separate them? I'm not entirely sure how this works. Let's do, is it cover or is it panel? I think it might be cover. Cobblestone cover. Let's try this. Can I put a micro block right there? Nope, it won't let me do that. Basically what I want to see is if I connect multiple sides, let's try running this over like this. Does that make this go faster? It's kind of hard to tell, isn't it? Whoops. Didn't mean to get rid of the tesseract. Let's put that back real quick. Oh yeah, that was definitely going faster with two of those connected. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. I suspect this redneck cable can only convert so much RF to EU per side or per connection or whatever. So if we have multiple connections, I think we'd be going much faster. Yeah, that definitely seems like that's faster. Okay, so let's get rid of this. And I think what I need to do... Let's get rid of that and that for now, just temporarily, and we'll run this along right like that. I'm actually not sure if that's much faster or not. The MFSU might have a maximum input, or we might be reaching a limit on our power supply. Yeah, another thing, we could try and connect it to this front here, but again, we're running out of connections, and these cables, I don't know, maybe we can do that or something. Maybe, I don't know, is that going to go faster at all? Or is that going to mess things up? Actually, it looks like that is now constantly going at a speed, right? That just doesn't look very pretty. So we're going to try this. Oops, I didn't mean to connect that last cable there. We're going to try this. Let this MFSU power up. That should be powering our machines. Everything should be connected over here. So, yeah, each one of these are powered. Okay, very good. So the next thing we need to do is actually get items into these recyclers. It so happens... we have a bunch of igneous extruders from the past from making the octuple compressed cobblestone. I don't know if we're going to put one on each one of these machines or if we just need one that's going to feed all of them. What I do know is that these things can produce a stack at a time. Yeah, I think they go into the top. So let's put our igneous extruder over here. We will just stick that little fella right there. We're definitely going to need some lava. I'm not sure if I have a lava bucket. I don't, but I do have a lava fabricator already set up that I can go grab a lava bucket from. So we need item ducts. We'll use the impulse item ducts just to make things go faster. Guess we can put that cover away. Okay, so we will do this all the way down here. All right, we're going to need a resonant... well, we don't need a resonant, but we're going to use a resonant servo just to make sure we are sending items as fast as possible. So we want to eject to this side. Whoop, close that up. Close that off. Getting a little bit of lag, I think. And ignore it. Okay, so this should be pulling out all the cobblestone and sending it over to these recyclers. This is going to be making a stack of cobblestone at a time. When we get that set up, let's put a bucket of water in there. And let's go run over real quick and let's get a bucket of lava over here from our blood magic area. Just grab that right there. Perfect. Okay, very good. So as soon as I add that lava, things should start happening. We're going to be producing scrap pretty quickly. And lava. Okay. Ignored. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it looks like we're getting a little bit of server lag. Things are kind of slow there for a second. Another thing I'm curious about is this particular servo. We want this to be set to round robin, and we want to stack at a time. So that way it'll be putting in a stack here, then a stack here, here, all the way down, then it'll start over at the beginning again. Okay, I think that's probably going to be good. So it sounds like those compressors are doing things. Let's take a look at them from over here. Yeah, that one just got a stack. Okay, I don't think we are making cobblestone fast enough. Yeah, these are actually recycling cobblestone faster than that resident thing is putting in. So we might need more than one, or we might just put it, each recycler has its own igneous extruder on top of it. Yeah, because one definitely isn't enough. Okay, I tell you guys what, let me mess around with this a little bit more, try and get things figured out, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so I couldn't take it anymore. I went into my configs, my local configs for my client, and I turned off the IC2 sounds. I know everything makes sounds, and that's pretty cool, but my goodness, I couldn't take it anymore. I turned them all off. So what I set up over here is our canning machine once again. I have this set up, and we are pumping in lapis lazuli dust. It is mixing it with this water. It is making the IC2 coolant over here in the tank, and we are pumping that directly out of the canning machine into an IC2 coolant bedrockium drum. So yeah, we're storing up a whole bunch of this so I can make the overclocker upgrades much quicker in the future. But yeah, I just figured we might as well stockpile a bunch of that stuff. So we got a bunch of lapis lazuli dust being pumped into the canning machine as well. So I'm going to leave all of these pieces over here. But what I am going to do, I think it's time we disconnect our mass fabricator. I do want to save the liquid UU matter. So let's grab a tank. Couldn't think of the name of that for a second there. Let's just grab ourselves a tank. We'll stick that there. Yep, very good. And we will get a fluid duct. We'll grab a servo and a hardened fluid duct. Okay, and we'll go ahead and just disconnect this power over here as well. Gotta be careful not to hit those machines. Okay, so yeah, I believe we should just be able to pump that straight out. Yes, we can. Very good. So there is a little over 2 buckets worth of the liquid UU matter. So that's pretty awesome. So we'll just go ahead and save that and take that with us. We do need to use this wrench from IC2 to remove the machine. Looks like we got our overclocker upgrades and transformer upgrades out of there as well, which is awesome. We'll take that. This wrench is just about broken. There is an electric wrench that you can craft so you can recharge it. But I don't have any of the like IC2 charge pads or any of that stuff going at the moment. So we haven't made that wrench yet, but I will have to in the future. Okay, so let's head back over here and I'll show you guys what I've done with those recyclers real quick. So again, that's the front. You can see they are all on now, which is awesome. I did increase the upgrades to 9. I was going to put in 11. They could all handle 11 without drawing too much power, or I guess running low on power on the machine itself. But the problem is when they all had 11 in there, we were losing power in the MFSU over here. So we were just drawing far too much power. So what I did is I reduced each of those overclockers in there to 9. And we can still gain just a little bit of power. So that's about as fast as we can go with this redneck cable setup. Once we are to the point where we're making our iridium and we can make those solar panels that make EU directly, yeah, we will be able to power these things much faster and it'll be a little bit better. But currently, I ended up just putting one igneous extruder on top of each one of our recyclers. So they are all producing stacks of cobblestone at a time and just dropping it into the recycler down below. As far as the scrap, we have impulse item ducts over here with one resident retriever, which is pulling out of each one of these machines. I do have this set to round robin. If you set it to nearest first, it's going to pull out of this machine, then this one's, then it's going to be like, oh, this machine has scrap again, and this one has scrap, and it's just going to keep bouncing back and forth. And like the ones at the very end will never get their scrap removed. So yeah, I have it set to round robin, so it checks each one of these machines, and then it just, yeah, it keeps looping back and forth. We've made almost 20,000 scrap right now, which is pretty awesome. So I'm just going to let this go. We're just going to collect scrap in our deep storage unit for now. The next step is let's put our mass fabricator somewhere. I'm thinking we're just going to stick it here for now. I don't know if there's a better spot for it. I mean, we can always move it later. And I think, oops, I think that goes there. And I think we'll do this from the outside just so I don't point it in a different direction. I think eventually we're going to have multiple mass fabricators. I think that's what's going to happen. So we're going to stick that right there. We might do... I'm not sure how many we're going to do. I don't think we're going to need a whole line of these. I guess it's just going to depend on how much UU matter we can make when we're feeding it as much scrap as it can take. So we'll figure that out. Let's put these transformer upgrades in there. I forget, I couldn't put in the overclockers, right? Yeah, I won't accept that. I'll figure out if there's any other upgrades we can put in here. I really don't think there is. But I do want to get one more transformer upgrade just to be doubly sure that we aren't feeding it too much power. Although the last time I used mass fabricators, I do believe they could hold, or they could handle 2,000 EU a tick, or packet, or whatever that was, just fine. Anyway, let's get this hooked up. So we have our mass fabricator here. We need to get the scrap over to this side. I need to figure out how we're going to do that. We might end up using a tesseract or something, which would probably be the easiest way. So we'll tesseract our amplifier over here. We need to get power into this machine and get that going. So let me make a cut here, guys. I'll do a few more things off camera, try and get this all figured out, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so things are happening here. We got our mass fabricator going. We have scrap going into it. So it is making some decent progress. Yeah, the amplifier is doing its thing over here. We made 56 millibuckets already, which is pretty quick considering that's only been going for, I don't know, around 10 minutes or so. So this is the way, whoops, I'm in the wrong section. This is the way we have this one set up. So we just have our tesseract from our main base power. We have a rednet cable coming down into an MFSU over here. And then we have the one connection going into this glass fiber cable that goes over to our mass fabricator. So yep, that is pretty much it. I don't know if I connect multiple sides of that makes it go faster or anything like that. I actually never even tried that. Probably doesn't. Probably does not. It doesn't look like it's going much faster. Anyway, I don't need that glass fiber cable at the moment. We'll just leave that there. So our mass fabricator is doing stuff. I just have a tesseract over here. Deep storage unit, resonant servo into an impulse item duct into a tesseract. We're sending scrap through here. We are still gaining scrap even though we're using a bunch of it through the mass fabricator. So yeah, and then this tesseract right here is just dumping the scrap into there. Okay, so I was looking at the next thing we need to do if we're going to make anything with this UU matter. And we're going to need a replicator. So I was making all the patterns and all the little bits and pieces for this thing. Replicator here. So we have to make HV transformer, MFE, these teleporters, which aren't super complicated. It's advanced machine casing, glass fiber, advanced circuit, and then this frequency transmitter, just circuit copper cable. So this isn't too bad. We already have like the reinforced glass made, but then we got to the reinforced stone, and I was clicking on it, it's like there is no recipe. I can make stuff with it. Actually, what can I make with this? I never even looked. I can make a pattern storage and a yeah, right. Obviously the replicator. Okay, so in order to make this reinforced stone, I had to look this up because I've never done this before. We have to use a CF. What is this? A CF sprayer? Construction foam, that's what that stuff is. So to make a construction foam sprayer actually isn't that bad. I did not make the universal cell pattern. Let's make one of those. We will actually craft one of those up so we can make our CF sprayer. Put that in here. And let's craft that. Oh, I can't craft it? Okay. Universal cell. Next. I guess I just don't have all the parts made. Alright, so then we will make this guy right here. So that's iron item casing plus that universal cell. Great, so now we have that done. Okay, we'll stick that right in here. That's a CF sprayer. Next. Start. Sweet. So we got ourselves like a little gun looking thing. Well, you can't really do anything with this at the moment. I do believe we have to fill this up. It says it's empty. We fill this up, I believe, with a CF powder, which used to be called CF pellets. And the recipe to make that is stone dust, stone dust, clay, and sand. I believe we have everything except for the stone dust. And it looks like that comes from a thermal centrifuge or an ore washing plant. I think this is how you duplicate ores with IC2 or like triplicate ores. I'm really not entirely sure because I haven't messed with any of this stuff. But anyway, we do have the thermal centrifuge made. So if we get some of this crushed stuff, let's see, what else can we put in here? More of the crushed. We can put cobblestone in there. Looks like that gives us 1 stone dust per cobblestone. More of these different ores or anything else cheaper or easy to make. Nope, doesn't look like it. So we'll put cobblestone in there. So thermal centrifuge. I don't think that's over here anymore. Okay, so again, we're gonna set up temporary machines back over here to get things going. We just need to make enough of that reinforced stone to make our replicator. Thermal centrifuge. So we'll bring this back over to our other side. Yeah, it's kind of moving all the IC2 machines over here so they had a proper place, but we still don't have the power infrastructure set up, so not gonna work at the moment. So thermal centrifuge. This thing will charge back up with power. Yep. All right, so I think it said we just put stone in there, right? So it's heating up. Kind of slowly, but it's heating up. And then, is this going to take 3 years? Okay, I guess we'll throw in some overclockers. Maybe that'll make it go faster, just a little bit faster. You know what, we might even need, oops. I don't know if the transformer upgrades will work in this machine or not. If that'll make it accept any more power than what it's currently accepting. We'll just throw those in there. Yeah, it doesn't really look like it. I think the redneck cable's actually kind of our bottleneck here. But we've made some stone dust, so I can go ahead and get our pattern going for the CF powder. So there we go. So now I just gotta wait for enough of the stone dust to get some of the CF powder going, and then we can look at making some construction foam stuff. So yeah, let me wait on this machine a little bit, guys. Get some stuff going here, and we'll be back. Alright guys, so I made the CF sprayer and we got some CF powder going. Now I was thinking we would just take this and put it together in our crafting grid like you used to do with the CF pellets. Or at least that's what it showed on the wiki. But I don't think that is the case anymore. So I think what we're going to have to do is put it in here and that in there. And okay, so that has 1,000 millibuckets. I don't know how much this actually holds. That's okay. So let's just go ahead and put it all in there. 3. Okay, here we go. There is a little bit of that. So I made some iron scaffolding. I believe we have to spray this with the foam. So let's try this. So if I right click. Oh, okay, so the whole thing. Oh, and that didn't use all of the foam in there. Okay, very good, very good. So I think what I'll do, let's just go ahead and place the rest of these down here. We will spray that with the foam. We have to let this harden over time, so it'll take a minute. How much we got? Yeah, we didn't use that much at all. Okay, yeah, this will take a minute. These blocks will change to a different appearance when they harden. I believe it said we can take some sand and actually right-click sand on here to speed up the process. Oh, that's actually going to make that instant. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I didn't know that it would be instant, but awesome. And then it also said this has a hardness of obsidian, so it'll take a minute to break. And that's actually not too bad with this tool that we have here. So I'm going to go ahead and make our replicator. Use these items for that recipe, get the recipe all made. And yeah, let's get that done and we'll be back, guys. Alright guys, so a few more things has happened here. I did make a replicator, but the replicator can't really do anything unless you have a pattern storage. So what the replicator does, it'll read the pattern from the pattern storage, but again, you have to have one for it to read that. So I made a pattern storage, I put a crystal memory in here, and then I click this down arrow that says import from crystal. So now we have this thing stored in a pattern storage. Our replicator can read that pattern by just clicking next or last or whatever. There's only one pattern in here. So what we need to do is actually start making things. So it's ready to make the UU matter. We need to it's ready to make the iridium ore from UU matter. We have to put the UU matter in here. So let's get that going. I'm kind of curious if this is going to work fast or if it's going to be slow or how this is all going to be set up. But yeah, here's our replicator and there's our pattern storage. Man, I'm having problems speaking today. So UU matter tank. This has just over 2,300 millibuckets in here. So let's grab a fluid duct. Hardened fluid duct. We'll do that. I assume we're just gonna be able to pipe into this thing. Again, I've never done this. So we will grab just a resonant servo or reinforced servo actually will work. Throw that there and ignored. So we're sucking up into this thing. Yep, it's filled the tank. Perfect. Okay, so now we have UU matter and we have the pattern ready to go. I assume stop, single run, repeat run. Let's click single run. Okay, well that's actually... Hold on a second. Why does it say EU 0%? Is it going to... Oh no, it is using UU matter. Okay. Alright, so maybe what it does is it goes to 100% and then it uses energy to produce it. I don't know. Let's grab some upgrades here. Make this thing work a little bit faster, maybe. Alright, there we go. Oh, that's it. That's all we need to do to make an iridium, huh? Let's try that again. Well, if we can do iridium that quickly... Huh. Okay, well that's awesome. That was way easier than I thought it was going to be. I'm noticing that this is not increasing here. I don't know if it's because I have too many of these. I don't know why it's not gaining power right now. Maybe it's just because this mass fabricator is taking too much power. I don't know. But yeah, it looks like this is gaining power just a little bit. So that's interesting that it is that quick to make iridium ore. Huh. So the next step that we need to do is to pump out the UU matter that we're making over here directly into the replicator and have this make as much as we possibly can. In fact, I'm just going to do repeat run because I think that'll just continually make the stuff. I'll just throw a couple upgrades in there. So I'll just make as much as it possibly can. So yeah, we need to pump the UU matter out of our mass fabricator. Okay, so now I can finally get rid of this cable. Let's be careful where I'm aiming my hammer. Nice. Yeah, so we need some more fluid ducts. Whoops. Fluid duct. And over time, not only are we going to be just making that UU matter, we are just going to be producing iridium ore. And that's pretty much all we are looking for at this moment. Servo. We'll be able to speed this up as soon as we're able to make our solar panels and make more EU. So we'll do that. That's filling up this tank, which fills up over here. And now we have... Well, we have one iridium ore. Looks like one of those overclocker upgrades is too much for this system to handle at the moment. So yeah, I don't think we need to make it much quicker than that. I believe we're using the UU matter faster than we are actually producing it over here. Once this hits 100%, it makes 1 millibucket. So yeah, we're definitely using that quicker. In fact, I could probably take out all of the overclocker upgrades and just let this thing run. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. All right, guys. Well, I tell you what. We've done a lot of stuff with IC2. We finally are to the point where we can make iridium. That is awesome. I am super ready to start making solar panels and getting this system going way faster. But yep, I think that's all we got time for today. thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on this episode if you did like it. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.